Picture this. I was on the bus with my basketball team. We were on our way to play the best team in the league. Our coach, who was at the front, told us to be focused, but we were on those buses with 2 couches in the back. It was around 5 p.m., and the golden glow of the sun was hitting up on our faces. Eminem Lose Yourself was playing it away in the background, and we were having fun, just like teenagers do. I can't even remember if we won or lost, but I remember the ride with my basketball team and how good it felt to be with them that day. And I never wanted that moment to end. Well, the most asked question, according to Google, is why am I here? Well, looking back, I can say that these are the moments I live for. And I can't help but wonder, how many of those moments will I still experience throughout my lifetime? Well, this question brought me to another. What would it feel like to live up to 100 years old? Now, raise your hand if you would like to live up to 100 years old. Okay. I can see that the room is filled with different age group. Since my point of view at the moment is probably different than the oldest in the room, I can get prepared. I wanted to find someone who really knew what it was like to get old. You know, someone who could help me better understand what it would feel like to live up to 100. So I called my grandma. I called my grandma and I asked her, Grandma, would you like to live up to 100 years old? Well, she told me that at that time, she would prefer going to heaven, being with God, living in peace and harmony. Now, centenarians are the human being, just like you and me, who have reached their 100th birthday. To be completely honest, I do not know any centenarians. In fact, they're pretty rare. Around the globe, we can count almost 370,000 of them. They are a bit less than 1% of the US population, so that means that with 100 people in this room today, one of you could be a centenarian. However, our chances of living to 100 have increased by 65% in the last 2 decades. So since centenarians are pretty rare and we often don't even forget about them or don't even know that they exist, it's hard to picture what they must do, you know? What do you do when you reach 100 years old? Well, have you ever heard of Don Pellman, who was the first centenarian to clear the bar in high jump, to complete in long jump, and even to break centenarian's record in the 100-meter dash? No? Well, then have you ever heard of Lola Holmes, who is the oldest curler that has ever existed? She first started at the age of 25, and 75 years later, she was still on the ice. Amazing, right? Well, these centenarians might seem incredible and invincible with their physical abilities, but let's face it, our bodies are going to degrade and turn to dust eventually. Even if we don't like to acknowledge it, we come in contact with sickness and diseases every day. In fact, some of us are even going to be dangerously affected by disease. 38% of us in this room are going to be affected by cancer. 38% of us sitting here are going to be affected by cancer. I mean, we all know someone that has been affected by cancer, and even if it only makes it hard to hear, most of us will too. Still asking myself, why am I here? I thought about what was most important to me. Family. And then I remembered that day when I was at my family home in Florida. My cousin Antoine was sitting next to me, and he was already done with his plate. My grandma was bringing the pancakes, and Marty was looking at his with big, starving eyes. My dad was ready to take a very, very big bite, and my grandpa was putting that weird dark liquid called molasses or something. And this might look like it was all about food. Well, they're not entirely wrong. My grandma makes really good pancakes, but no. It was about the smiles on the kids' faces, the laugh, the gratitude, the love, being around people that I love. And at this moment, I did understand that. I wouldn't want to make it to 100 without the people I love. Now, I want you to imagine yourself as a centenarian. You come in contact with new young people every day. So I need to ask you another question. When you see an old lady or an old man waiting to cross the street, what do you feel? Do you hear a voice inside saying, I wouldn't like to be them? Well, if you say yes, you acknowledge the fact that people will take pity on you. They might underestimate you, and you will not like the feeling of people feeling bad for you. Now, crossing the street is one thing. We can pretty much all do it, but I was really wondering, what can old people do? And as I was researching, I found some funny citations that I thought I must share with you. So first off, old people can't read the small print on prescription drug bottles. Old people can't follow the instructions for putting up that new lamp from IKEA. Old people can't copy that telephone number they need to call to get Great Battles of World War II for only $9.95. But do you know what scares me the most about getting old? Not being able to ride roller coasters. I mean, no one says that old people can't ride roller coasters, but when you're on the most terrifying ride of the park, wouldn't it be weird to be sitting next to a 90-year-old man? Well, in fact, old people rarely ride roller coasters due to the motion, the speed, and the adrenaline that it procures. It also puts stress on your body that is difficult to endure as you get older. So yes, just like roller coasters, living to 100 can be scary, full of fast turns and loops, but I think it can be an amazing thing too. So from now on, let's enjoy all those things, live each and every moment. Let's meet new people that are like us and want to live to 100. Because life is a journey that shouldn't have a timeline. Thank you.